good to go? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome again for our meeting, for our regular session for January 27th, Wednesday. I'll call the meeting to order at 5:15 p.m. On this end, we will rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll dive right into it here. Mr. Zerlo, would you please conduct a roll call?
Yes, sir. Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Conroy. Mr. Hall. Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Perrier.
Here.
Mr. Potiker.
Here.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
Ms. Waldron.
Here.
I have a quorum, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. As you know, Senator Dan Steck is supposed to join us. I am unsure if he is with us at this time. If he's not, we'll continue. He's not with us yet? Okay. The senator hasn't joined us yet, so what we will do, we'll continue with our meeting. When he does join us, if he does join us, we'll let it break in and we'll do it then. All legislators have received a copy of the stenographer's minutes of the January 13th, 2021 regular session. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Legislator Perrier. Thank you. Tonight, with our virtual format, as usual, we will not be having public comment this afternoon. However, members of the public are welcome to express their concerns or comments by emailing us at legislature@clintoncountygov.com. That's legislature @clintoncountygov.com. We'll now go to the committee reports. Each legislator chairs one of the 10 standing, and I will call on the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order by committee, starting with Buildings and Grounds. Mr. Zerlo, do you have that?
Yes, sir. On behalf of Legislator Conroy, Jim Cleveland, the Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds, has reported his team continues to disinfect common areas, office spaces, and many other locations throughout the building on a regular basis and as necessary. The Buildings and Grounds Department is helping out with the maintenance at the Clinton County Nursing Home, and they also installed electrical power for the new automatic door openers in the client entrance at the Department of Social Services. On February 1, 2021, the new HVAC mechanic will join the department. The department continues to supply support to the health department whenever needed to help with COVID-19 related issues. The next Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting has been tentatively scheduled for Monday, February 8th at 4:30 p.m.
Thank you. I see that Senator Steck has joined us. Welcome, Senator. We are certainly glad to see you. Congratulations on your recent election.
Thank you.
I know you have been up here many, many, many times, but it's nice to see you here with all of us for the tonight for the legislature. So we'll stop what we're doing here, and I will introduce the senator. And Senator, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, thanks, Chair. Good evening, everyone. I appreciate your time. Give you a little bit of an update very briefly. So, today I'm in Glens Falls in the district office, and we're conducting a Zoom virtual meeting on the Senate and Assembly's budget hearings for the Environmental Conservation Committee. I'm the ranking member in the Senate on that committee, and when I was in the Assembly for 8 years, I was the ranking member there, so I'm very familiar with NCON issues. So the nature of all these budget hearings in Albany is they're very long days. They started this hearing at 9:30. Basil Sagos himself took 3.5 hours. So they'll probably go to 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So I was very happy to get a little change of pace here and leave come to all yours. But yeah, this is going to be a difficult year in Albany. And it's a matter of just rolling up our sleeves, trying to put politics behind us as much as possible. It's difficult. It's difficult in any year, but lately, obviously, it's been very difficult to do that. But it does happen. It doesn't always make the newspaper when everyone's working together. That's not the stuff that captures newspapers' attention, I guess. But we've got a real challenge on our hands. I'm not sure if all of you paid attention to or caught the governor's state addresses and then his budget presentation. But basically his budget presentation was, there's two versions of this. There's a version if we get $6 billion from the federal government, and there's a version if we get $15 billion. Your guess is as good as anyone's where that number will be. My personal guess is that I think the governor's probably confident that he stands a good chance to get close to that 15. They're talking about a $350 billion number for state and local government, and if that gets distributed at all along population numbers, then our fair share will probably put us close to that better number. But we need to be prepared for the worst, and it's very difficult to enter into a budget where you're trying to march forward and you really don't know, what the size of the pie is. So this year, more than most, is very difficult, and then obviously you start getting those pressures where we want to have, do we want to raise taxes? What will that do? Is that a net, gain, or are we going to chase people out of the state even faster if we do that? Those are the political debates that have been happening. But I just wanted to check in with all of you. I'd love to be there in person, but I respect the caution that we're all exercising. But I want to mostly just give you guys a chance, name with a face. We're not in campaign mode anymore. Now it's roll up your sleeves and do the job mode. And what I've said to your chairman and your sheriff and others is that I recognize that for the last 18 years you had Senator Little, and you built up a comfort level with her and a knowledge and a working relationship with her. We're all allowed to retire someday, and we all hope to get there, and she's there now, and she's doing well, and I hope she's enjoying it, but she's in her own transition. In the meantime, I recognize, like I did when I ran for the Assembly 8 years ago, I grew up in Glens Falls area, Queensbury, born and raised. And so I was a Warren County kid, joined the Navy, saw the world, got out of the Navy, came back home, got involved in local government. So I've been a town zoning board member. I've been a councilman. I've been a town supervisor. In Warren County, they don't have a county legislature. It's a board of supervisors. So I was also on a county board for 9 years, and the last 2 years of those, I was the chairman of that board. So I say that not to tell you guys my resume, but to just emphasize to all of you on the call, my roots in government are in local government. I spent 4 years as a councilman and 9 years as a town supervisor / county legislator. So I understand what the state and that relationship means to you. I understand that the state is in a position to make your life easy or difficult. I know what unfunded mandates are. Myself and my conference, pretty much any law by definition is a mandate of some sort. If there's not money attached to it, then it's an unfunded mandate. But I'm particularly sensitive to not wanting to needlessly pile on, this is a good idea and it should be done, and we'll let the county figure out how to pay for it. I try to avoid that. These are difficult times for you as well. And like I said, I've been on the receiving end when I was at the county level. But 8 years ago when I ran, I knew, hey, they don't know me in Essex County. I'm some kid from Glens Falls. I think I proved myself in those 8 years in Essex County that I was accessible, that I was there, I was present, I was learning the issues, I was learning the players. I did that, and now I know, hey, now it's time for me to do that all over again with Clinton County, Franklin County, 6 towns in St. Lawrence County. So the purpose of this here in January, my first month in office, is to tell you I know what I need to do. I know what, who I'm replacing. I'm not Betty. I love her, but we're all individuals. We're all different people. I've got my own style. Well, hopefully my style isn't too different from what you're used to. I'm not looking for trouble. I'm not looking to just go down there to Albany and just recklessly, irritate people. I'm there to represent our needs and be in a position that when I ask for help, that help comes. I'd rather work together than not. But politics can be a rough venue for all of us, as you guys know. All politics is rough. But I just want you to know, if you need me, clue me in on an issue. you want to do a Zoom, great. If you want me to come up, great. If you want to talk to me on the phone, my cell phone number is not state secret. I'm not sure I want to announce it to the world on Zoom, but certainly, I want to make sure that the county has it, and every legislator should have it. If there's anything that you want to talk to me about in the state, if I could, as I continue to ramble, and then I'll be quiet and take some questions, just touch base on my relationship with your other your other state legislator, Billy Jones. Again, I know his background. He was chairman of the county board in Franklin County. Also, a lot of local government experience there. Different party, but we've worked together the last 6 years in the assembly, closely together, get along personally. Our staffs work well together, know each other well, we partner together. And the vast majority of issues that are important in the North Country are not partisan issues. So Billy and I are going to 99 times out, well, maybe 98 times out of 100, we'll be on the same page. But put us both to work, and if you're asking one to do something, don't hesitate to ask the other. Our staffs will check in with each other. We'll make sure that we're not duplicating effort, but we'll complement each other's work. And we just want to do the best we can for all of our constituents, and that certainly includes Clinton County. So if there's any questions, I'm not in a hurry to get back to that budget hearing, but it'll be going on for a long time. But like I said, normally I would have been happy to hop in the car and drive up there as well. You're right up the Northway. I live at exit 18, to give you guys an idea. I'm at exit 18. I just hop on that Northway. I could be there in an hour and 45 minutes.
So, legislators, this is Mike. The senator has given me that phone number, so if there's ever a reason or you simply want it in your contacts, I'd be happy to provide that, for the senator.
Also, the senator was up here just the other day, so Michael and I had an opportunity to ask him questions for issues that affect the North Country. And unless Michael has an additional question, rather than us repeating ours, we'll open it up for any of the legislators that may have a question for the senator. Does anybody have a question for the senator?
Dan, I know you were up here and you were making the rounds, and I know you, and I've got to give my little notes later to the board about NISAC's debriefing on the executive proposal. But for the most part, it's an executive proposal that is less harmful to county government as it has been in years past. That being said, there still remains a whole host of things that are negatives, and one that pops out to me, and I know you have been briefed, is community college aid. Our community college is very important to our community. That goes without saying. But I know you know this, but I want to reiterate that the fact that the FTE rate remains the same, but the enrollment goes down, that's less money for the community college, and the sunk costs associated, with the college remain the same, and as such, they slide further and further behind. So, I know when you're having your discussions in your budget meetings, that's something that, and I know you represent 2 other community colleges, so that's an important fact that I think I want to make you aware of.
Absolutely, and I've heard that from Ray D. Pascal. Mike, you prompt me to, if I could round out a little bit more in my opening remarks, just so that everyone, all you legislators know, who have I been in contact with, who have I, tried to start building relationships with, and I've had meetings with, going back to last year, several times I came up, and Gary Douglas helped connect me and bring me in and toward different businesses in the greater Plattsburgh area. So I spent some time, and you could probably guess a lot of the ones that I visited, but certainly Bombardier, Norsk, Nova, just a lot of your larger ones. I've been to the hospital many times as an assemblyman, meeting with the folks there. So that part, I've been plugged in pretty good. But Michael Cashman and I have met each other and visited with each other off and on over the years. I've started to get to know the new mayor a little bit, Chris, and had coffee with him and Michael right after I was in Dannemora the other day for that rally about Clinton Annex. I came up for that, and then after that I had arranged to catch up with Mayor Rosenquist and Michael Cashman, and just talking to them about Plattsburgh issues. And as an aside, not to talk too much about Plattsburgh because I know I got the whole county board here, but I tell everyone as I follow, and I've gotten to know Plattsburgh over the years, starting with the newspaper and the Press Republican, and then visiting. There's a lot of similarities between the city and town of Plattsburgh as down my way between the city of Glens Falls and the town of Queensbury. Just the relationships between those municipalities. There's an awful lot of, sometimes you can read a newspaper article and just change the names of those municipalities. So I've got, I think, a little bit of appreciation for what Plattsburgh's, working on right now. And I think I'm encouraged that the two of them seem to get along well. I mean, there's always going to be competing interests between those two municipalities, but they seem to be able to work together and communicate with each other. So, I've been to SUNY Plattsburgh a few times, met with the president there. So starting to work, I've been to all the corrections facilities in my district except Altona. That's the only one I haven't visited yet, but I've been to the three in Malone. I've been to Clinton and Clinton Annex a few times now. So just to give you guys an idea, but I'm always looking to learn more. So this is my way of inviting myself. If there's stuff up there you're like, if the senator hasn't seen this yet, shame on him, he better. Then you know what? Give me an invitation, get me up there, move me around, help me learn the issues that you think, whatever you think I need to do to be more effective to help you, I want to do it.
Thank you very much, sir. Anybody else? Bobby, do you have one? Or you're on mute if you do.
Oh, you're on mute, Bob.
You're on mute, Bob.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
Senator, have you heard anything at all, or is there anything new to report on this border opening up? We need that border opened up so bad, it's unbelievable here in Plattsburgh, New York, and Clinton County.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I know that Billy Jones is co-chair on one of the commissions, and he's been, directly involved in border issues for a much longer time than I have. Again, Elise Stefanik, she's been active on that as a co-chair herself of the Northern Border Task Force, and certainly I heard that throughout the campaign. That we've got a real need all the way to Malone. I mean, the border crossing, all the way across the whole northern border of the state. People not being able to come down to check on properties, to visit their properties. The tourism component. I mean, Titus was very concerned about what's this going to do to us in Malone and Franklin County, and certainly that whole Clinton County because of the importance of the interstate. That I know that it's really hurting both countries' economies. I think as the science is coming out, I mean, the other call, actually right now there's 3 simultaneous Zoom calls going right now. I gave up on the budget one for now. We're being briefed by Congressman Reed on another Zoom call right now that I got my chief of staff listening in on that call about the vaccine rollout. But the vaccine and the numbers, the science behind the vaccine, it's starting to suggest to everybody that we can start to reopen a little more quickly, a little more confidently. That balancing act between the health issues and the damage to the economy, I think people are starting to realize that the damage to the economy is starting to trump the, pardon the expression, but trying to overweigh the concern of the health concerns. Not that they're not real, but I think that what's starting to stem that tide not only is our experience with the virus, but also the fact that the vaccine is coming in. They're releasing about 8 million doses a week to the country, and each state is getting theirs roughly based on their population. So New York has been getting between 250 and 350,000 vaccines a week. Not enough to vaccinate, the 19 million New Yorkers that need vaccinations as fast as we would like. But I think that I know that recently the federal government has started a planning process to come up with a plan to reopen the border. I saw Gary Douglas's remarks in the paper. I think it was this morning. He was encouraged. I mean, part of his job is to be positive and push it from a positive direction. But my read on what I saw from him was that he thinks that this is a positive step. That hopefully by spring we'll have something a little more normal on the border. I'm very aware that the border is killing everybody. The border being closed.
Thank you, Senator.
Anyone else? We probably have time for one more, maybe two, but any other questions for the senator? I see none. Therefore, Senator, do you have any closing remarks? Thank you very much for taking the time and leaving your budget hearing to join us. We appreciate that. Anything you'd like to add, sir?
My absolute pleasure. I apologize for being gabby, maybe a little long-winded. I know you have other business to attend to, so I'm respectful of your time. But this was the first opportunity that I've had to have all of you together, and so I wanted to make sure I took advantage of it, to make sure you all heard the same message from me at the same time. You know, the door is open, the phone is open. If you need me, whatever you need, you let me know. I'll come up uninvited too, don't worry about that. But I mean, you know, as anything that you can see or think of as a group or individually that'll help, and you say, you know, Betty knew this, but maybe Dan doesn't. You know what? Don't assume I know. I tell everybody, I'd rather get 10 calls on the same thing than none. You know, so, but if there's something coming up and you're like, we're going to need help here, get me up to speed. You know, we're drinking from a fire hose right now, but the good news is that, you know, the southern part of this Senate district, I represented the Assembly for 8 years, so there's no learning curve there. I know those issues, so I only have to learn half the issues of the Senate district. Unfortunately, you know, those half include you. So, you know, but I have more time. I don't have to worry about learning Warren County, Washington County, and Essex County, because I've been working with them already. So, you know, feed me, you know, the information and throw problems our way. The staff that I had in the Assembly came over with me. I should have maybe led with this before. Plus a couple members from Betty's staff are on my team as well. Dan McEntee, some of you may recognize that name from Albany. And then in the district office here in Glens Falls, Keith Shear. So if those names ring a bell. So there's a lot of corporate memory on the staff. And, you know, like I said, I put my staff next to any staff. So, you know, you throw us issues, you throw us constituent problems, you know, hey, the state's doing this to me, the Liquor Authority that, Department of Labor this, send them our way. We'll work on whatever problems. If there's state problems, we'll work on them, and we'll get it figured out. But I just, you know, I'm trying to make sure that you guys know I'm approachable. I want to work. I'm ready to work. I know how to work. You guys just point me in the direction and give me a nudge, and then I'll do my thing.
Well, thank you very much again, Senator. We appreciate it. We certainly look forward to working with you on those issues that are important to our folks there in Clinton County and the North Country as well. So, again, thank you, and I know we will be talking to you soon.
Yes, and I'll leave your call. I'll let you guys continue to conduct your business. I hope everyone's healthy. You know, good luck. COVID, we're going to focus on the vaccines. That's got to be priority one. I know that your department, I was up there, I toured the new site at the airport that the state is getting ready, but I also know that, hey, you know, your county health department is very capable too. So we're trying to attack it from every angle. Believe me, right now the issue's got to get the vaccines in your hands so you can put them in the arms, and we're pushing that from our end here as well. So, you know, don't be strangers, and I'll see you all hopefully very soon in person.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye. Thanks again.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Children and family.
Back to our committee reports. Children and Family Services, Legislator Potiker.
Thank you, Chairman. Children and Family Services Committee, John Redden, the Commissioner of Social Services, reported that the Home Energy Assistance Program, HEAP, unit has provided fuel assistance to over 6,000 low-income individuals and families in Clinton County since November 2020. A total of $2,900,000 in fuel benefits have been used. All other income maintenance programs, such as food stamps, Medicare assistance, and public assistance, have maintained fairly flat throughout the pandemic. The Office of Temporary Disability Assistance advised local commissioners that the state would only be withholding 5% of the revenue versus 20% as previously done. To date, the state has withheld $545,866 revenue, 20%. The difference should be released to counties sometime in the fourth quarter of the current state fiscal year. The department expects to receive approximately 184,413 days on it. The next Children and Family Services Committee meeting has been tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, February 2nd at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Next, Economic Development and County Operations, Legislator Waldron.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Board of Elections reported some staff have been working remotely due to the COVID issues, with the focus being placed on the annual report to the New York State Board of Elections, Department of Motor Vehicle changes of address, voter registration cards, notices to voters whose parties no longer qualify to be on ballots, and updating voter registration information from the many affidavit ballots received during the November election. Martine Gagno, the real property director, reported that assessors are currently working on preparing the tentative roll for May 1, 2021. This includes the verification of exemptions, revaluing of property as needed, data collection of new construction, and then the valuation of such. The new Town of Saranac assessor, David Galarno, has been in contact with the real property office and everything seems to be going well. Tammy Lacey, the RPS coordinator, went to his office and set up the new computer for him. David Randall, the Director of Information Technology, reported they have been assisting other departments with implementing telework, providing secure remote access and support to employees. The department has upgraded the networking at the Highway Department and the Public Transit offices and are preparing to conduct the 2021 internal risk assessment. Glenn Cutter, the Planning Board Director, stated the Planning Board meetings are continuing via Zoom. The January meeting had 9 projects for review. All were approved, local issues, and some were sent comments. Of note is a new Mountain Mark convenience store proposed in Ellenburg, east of Northern Adirondack School Building. It would be a much-needed gas station for that area since several have closed. The next Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting has been tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, February 9th at 5:00 p.m. End of report.
Madam Chair, we did receive word from your entire committee that they were okay with your proposed meeting and time change. So that'll be before the first regular session of each month at 4 p.m.
Thank you, everybody.
So everybody agreed with that. So we'll make that change on the calendar.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Before moving on, can everybody check their mutes? Make sure you're muted. Somebody wasn't or isn't. So if you could all go to mute, check that. I'd appreciate it. And then we will move on to the Finance Committee and Legislator Timmons.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee was pulled on Resolution 44 on tonight's agenda. There will be a discussion in regards to sales tax receipts with more detail to be provided at the next meeting. The next Finance Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, February 3rd at 5:15 p.m. As this is a committee of the whole, it will be done using Zoom. End of report.
Thank you. Health, Legislator Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Rochelle Gregory, the Director of Community Services, reported they are continuing to work on clinic integration and a workflow process. Innovatel Psychiatric has been up and running and seems to be working well. The office currently maintains a shortened schedule, 8:30 to 5 p.m., with several clinicians working 1 or 2 days remotely, providing telecounseling services. John Canoza, the Director of Public Health, and Eric Day, the Director of Emergency Services, are present to provide a brief update. The next Health Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, February 2nd at 4:30. End of report.
Thank you very much, Director Canoza and Director Day. Who wants to go first?
Thank you, everybody. I'll go first. I'm happy to give you
I didn't expect that, John.
a good report. Specifically, yesterday we only had 18 new lab confirmed positive cases. That's the lowest number that I can remember in weeks. So it is very much something we look forward to for a very long time. We have a total of 2,521 total lab confirmed positive cases to date. And we are sitting on right now 259 active cases, which is also a big improvement from about 3.5 weeks ago when we had 444 at one time, our highest ever. So 259 is a welcome number. So testing is continuing across our county, including the Wellness Center where CVPH sponsors their state testing site there. We're up to almost 100,000 tests being done for Clinton County residents. The equally good news is that vaccinations are continuing, not only at the state vaccination site, where they're doing about 500 a day, and Kinney's, of course, is doing, continuing, they're getting more vaccine to vaccinate those 65 and older. We received 200 doses this week for continuing our efforts with Phase 1B essential workers, including finishing, law enforcement, and probably doing a good chunk of our firefighters who are out there. So next up for vaccination in coming weeks will be grocery clerks, Phase 1B grocery clerks, and teachers. This week, I must let you know, hospitals did not receive more vaccine this week, our hospital. Third week, you said, Eric? Yeah, so recall there was 1 week a few weeks ago, we didn't get any vaccine. I think it's hit or miss. I mean, we might have to get our turn in that and not getting any vaccine, just so you know about it ahead of time. But we're getting 200 this week. Like I said, for Phase 1B, law enforcement and fire. Next week, we put in an order for 300. Well, we're also going to be getting, more or less automatically, 100 second doses for those who were vaccinated 3 weeks ago. Will be 4 weeks next week. So, also good news that I need to report to you, CVPH. CVPH has currently, today, as of this minute, 18 COVID patients in their hospital. It's a little elevated, but they do not have any COVID patients in their most susceptible operation, which is their ICU. No COVID patients in ICU, no COVID patients ventilated. That's good information right there. We want to keep it that way and start nudging them down. Hopefully they're going to be seeing the follow-up effect of what we're seeing now. I don't want to talk about it too much because I'll jinx myself, which is a lowering of the new positive cases per day. That's what we want. We've been striving for. So, in other news, I've been working the last 3 days, on efforts for a large plan for schools to work with them on an advisory for them guidance, 6-page document on how to start up their high-risk sports again. I'm getting feedback both ways from the public. Pro sports people, that's all they really think about. And a lot of our public are against high-risk sports. So it's kind of 50-50 right now. But since our schools, you may know, our schools, the majority of them, if not close to all of them, are restarting after the holiday break and pausing for a couple of weeks. They are restarting as of next Monday, February 1st. So I kindly ask all schools, ladies and gentlemen, let us please pause for 2 weeks and let's just be concerned about and caring about in-class education for 2 weeks before we start any high-risk sports in any of your schools. And they didn't even blink. These guys are tough characters. I'm used to them. But they understood that I would like to make a nice approach into that high-risk sports arena. So, but we're working very feverishly on this. We're going to have it out the door tomorrow for them, as well as a separate document with similar writing in it for non-school related youth sports, like youth hockey is the one that comes to my mind. So. That's the one we will be working with them on. Same type of, you need to wear a mask, you need to report this, you need to do this. So we're looking pretty good for that. We caught up real quick after Friday when the announcement was made that the governor was giving health departments the jurisdiction to make that call and work with their schools. We've been working with our schools all along. So, and I think it's getting better. Our relationship is getting tighter. We're kind of knowing that both of our parties, health department and the schools, we're all in the same mess, in the same boat together. So, and we're working through it, and it's going pretty well, I think. So, that's all I have at this particular moment. I don't know, Eric, I always miss something, Eric.
No, I think that's pretty comprehensive, John. The only other thing, I think you did mention the state vaccination site. Obviously, the county piece, the state site continues to run basically full board, nearly 500 a day, and not wasting any. So we're helping them there. I would just point out that Mr. Craig's airport staff, members of John's staff, and folks here from my staff at Emergency Services, working hard to support that state operation, and it's a good team effort, and we're moving forward with them, and it's really good to see people getting the vaccine. We do know that somewhere in the range of 1/3 of the folks that get vaccinated here on a daily basis are not from here, but 2/3 of them are, so that's good. That there are folks traveling. We had a call today from somebody in New York City, wanted to know how high a vehicle could be to drive through the drive-through test site, or drive-through vaccination site. They're gonna drive way up here in the window to get vaccinated. Some of the things going on are just crazy, but good things happening.
So Eric, people signed up through the MI eligible site legitimately, but then maybe also legitimately had an opportunity to receive a vaccination from, whether it was from a local health provider or from the Clinton County itself or Kinney Drugs. I think it's worth noting publicly that if that happens to folks and they had an appointment scheduled on the state site, that it's incumbent upon them to cancel their appointment such that appointment will then become live and available for somebody else who goes on the MI eligible site.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a message that we have conveyed in the media, or tried to convey in the media, and social media in particular, and then also ask folks, anybody that'll listen to us. Yeah, as you said, Mike, if you have an appointment at the state site, you can cancel, or know anybody that does that, please ask them to go on. The email that you receive when you register through MI eligible, at the very bottom of that confirmation email is a link you push. It cancels it. You don't have to do anything other than click that. As Mike said, it opens up a spot for somebody else. Right now, Mike, since we talked earlier, I don't know if you've looked, but right now there are larger numbers of openings well into March, but there may be spots that pop open sooner as people cancel, but they still get chewed up very quickly.
Thank you, sir. Anything else from your end?
No, sir, I think we're good.
They were good.
Taking questions?
All right. Anybody have any questions? Calvin?
Yep. First a quick one, then I got a longer one. I'm up on the border here, and I'm wondering if the law enforcement that getting vaccinated includes the custom and border personnel. That included in law enforcement?
Absolutely, sir. We have included in the law enforcement community our county sheriff's department and internal to the sheriff's department, the corrections division, the county probation department, some of the courts folks, and then outside of that, the New York State Police, the DEC Rangers, the NCON Police, the Park Police, the University Police, and last but not least, Customs and Border Patrol both. Many of those folks have already been done. There will be an event tomorrow, a closed point of distribution for about 160 more law enforcement folks, and that will wrap in the rest of Customs and Border Protection, as well as even some of the other federal agencies, the air branch folks that are attendants at the airport, the FBI guys, and we have captured them, yes sir, to answer your question.
Okay. Now my main question here is, I got a call from somebody today that said they just came back from getting their second shot, and when they got back, they got a phone call telling them that a coworker had tested positive. So does that affect? They've already taken that second shot, and they're going to have to quarantine now, and so that doesn't affect. Is that going to have any problem with them if they test positive all of a sudden? If you just got taken their second shot?
My preliminary and rudimentary response to that is I believe no. But what I'm going to do, Calvin, I'll give you 565. Okay, call Ellen Hemingway, my office manager. 565-4841, and ask for either two nurses, Deborah Tackett, or Margaret Searing, that can answer that question for you very specifically. That's a very specific medical nursing question, okay?
Okay, so along that same line, this guy's spouse also works the same place he does, and she's scheduled for Friday. So they're going to be tested tomorrow, which will be a rapid test. And of course, you know, when you take a rapid test, you also get a test that takes you a few days to get back. So is that going to interfere with her ability to take that shot on Friday?
Yeah, you got a two-pronged question that should be asked to that nurse. I do not believe so, but ask the absolute best people. One of those two nurses that Alan will hand over to you or to this friend to call, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, it's best that that person, the man that you speak of with the spouse, be the specific one that talks to all
Right,
of that.
right.
He's gonna know the most, and he'll get it firsthand.
Right. Yeah. You won't get my version. You'll get the truth.
Yeah, things always get mixed up when you go, three people.
Yeah, you'll go around the table and the story's different when you get to the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, John.
Well, it doesn't answer your question, but it comes to mind, Calvin, when you asked it. It comes to my mind because we have heard some folks starting to ask this. I've got the second shot. Can I stop wearing a mask? and the answer is unfortunately going to be no.
That's a big fat no.
The truth of the matter is that the second shot and the pending immunity or antibodies that are built up will protect you, but it does not prohibit you from being a carrier going forward.
That's right.
So somebody that has a second dose on board could still contract COVID, may not feel any effects because your body is able to fend it off. However, you still can transmit it to people that are not vaccinated and very easily, especially with this new variant they're throwing around, which we haven't seen yet. But that the answer to that question, that's starting to fly around there. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah.
Well, I also point out to people that the vaccine is 95% effective, and if you look at it in slow pitch softball terms, you put two slow pitch teams out there, that's 20 people. One of them isn't going to be affected by this vaccine. So those are, you start looking at it like that, those are real odds that you could still be vulnerable.
The odds are out there that there will be vulnerable people in the long run. I mean, that is there. That's true.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions before we move on? Okay,
Thank you, gentlemen.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Next is the Human Services Committee with Legislator Perrier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Darlene Collins, the Director of Office for the Aging, reported they are fielding many calls from senior citizens trying to get an appointment for a COVID-19 vaccine. The online appointment system is not accessible for many of them and is difficult to get through to the state hotline number. They are helping people to schedule appointments and access their registration tickets. There has been advocacy happening at the state level between New York State Office of the Aging and the Association of Aging in New York and the Governor's Office regarding direct service providers. The providers which include the nutrition program staff and the home delivery and delivery meals drivers, as well as JCEO, senior outreach staff, rural transportation program volunteer drivers, and office staff provide direct face-to-face service to seniors. Congregate meal sites the Senior Center, and exercise programs at the YMCA remain closed. Home delivery meals continue for the increased number of clients being served. In December 2020, there was 479 clients, which is 73 more than December 2019. This increase is primarily due to the increase in senior population and the COVID-19 pandemic. The latest round of stimulus funding contains additional funding for senior nutrition programs. It is anticipated approximately $40,000 will be allocated to Clinton County. Wendy Bishop, the nursing home administrator, reported that as part of the federal vaccine program, the Clinton County Nursing Home contracted with CVS Pharmacy to administer the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. The nursing home is preparing for the second dose of Pfizer vaccine. The COVID-19 vaccine clinic is scheduled for February 1st, 2021. The vaccine was made available to all staff and residents. 90% of the residents and 75% of the staff were vaccinated at the first COVID vaccine clinic, which was held January 11th, 2021. Received the first dose of the vaccine on January 11th, 2021. Will be offered it on February 1st, 2021. There will be a third COVID-19 vaccine clinic on February 22nd, 2021 to ensure that anyone receiving their first dose on February 1st, 2021 will receive the second dose as required. The next Human Service Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, February 3rd at 4:44 p.m. End of report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Next up, the Personnel Committee. I will handle that. Kim Kinblom, the Personnel Director, reported all furloughed employees have returned effective December 28th, 2020. The Personnel Office has been working with departments to reduce the amount of employees in the office at one time by increasing the amount of telework agreements to ensure operations continue if quarantine orders are issued. Ms. Kinblom is working with John Canoza, the Director of Public Health, Major Nick Leon of the Clinton County Sheriff's Department, and Eric Day, the Director of Emergency Services, to complete the mandatory Clinton County Pandemic Preparedness Plan required by New York State law. The Personnel Office would like to remind everyone to complete their annual harassment training online, which I did, and so did Mr. Hall. I believe Mr. Hall received the highest grade in the state of New York for that. Congratulations, Mr. Hall. The next Personnel Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, February 1st at 4 p.m. That's the end of the report and of the personnel report, and please do complete that training. Next is Plattsburgh International Airport, Legislator Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution 46 of the RFP for the FBO has been withdrawn for tonight. We're waiting to get together and take care of their contract. All other items have a poll and have been approved by the airport committee. Our next meeting is for February 20th. Mike, explain to me if we want to have a meeting, if we have to have a meeting because of the large agenda, can we do it like we did before? Or
well, if we do that, Chairman, we'd have to find another day because as you know, it precedes the regular session, which is done via Zoom, and folks can't be in this building and then retreat back to their homes to get on a subsequent Zoom meeting. So your options are Zoom if you would like to do it. Because of the number of legislators, we can meet in person, but it will have to be on a separate day.
Okay, I'll talk to the committee and get back to you.
Thank you.
End the report.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety, Legislator Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dave Favreau, excuse me, the Clinton County Sheriff, reported their office has been very busy with COVID-19, as many departments have. Sheriff Favreau stated he is very proud of the work the members have done in keeping the community and jail safe while staying COVID-free. On January 20th and 21st, the Sheriff's Department conducted a vaccination POD at the jail, getting all patrol and jail staff vaccinated if desired. In addition, they organized the same for 210 total area law enforcement personnel. The Sheriff's Department staffing has remained stable. However, they are experiencing difficulty in hiring new law enforcement and medical staff. The jail facility itself has been requiring a significant amount of maintenance, with the original facility being 33 years old and the expansion being 16 years old. As adjustments are made to the new normal and the changes in social behaviors, Sheriff Favreau is confident they will have a successful 2021. Jamie Martineau, the public defender, reported the office is operating at full staff. Court is still operating virtually, and that is going well. In-person meetings are still limited, and all trials are currently on hold until further notice. Dave Marcoux, the Director of Probation, reported the Probation Department continues normal operations, with the office open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. All staff are working in the office, with some probation officers working in the field on a daily basis. They continue to screen all probationers and other outside persons coming into the department with the basic COVID-19 screening questions. They are maintaining social distancing and masking guidelines. The supervision caseload size continues to be approximately 750 probationers. The Public Safety Committee was polled on resolutions 47 through 53, as well as Wave 13.2 Resolution number 57. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, February 1st at 5 p.m. End of report. And while I have the microphone, I want to point out that I was at the DMV today for something, and it went very smooth. The Motor Vehicle Department seems to be operating very, very efficiently, and I applaud them for that. That has nothing to do with public safety, though. Thank you.
Yeah, it could if it wasn't running efficiently.
That's true.
Transportation Committee, Legislator Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Glenn Cutter, the planning director, reported that County Public Transit continues to run on limited services since August 3rd, with the north end, south end, and west end routes being approximately 7 hours a day, 6 routes each instead of the normal 13 routes per day. Rural routes are running as normal, and the rural zone service bus is running. The service is often used for medical appointments, including dialysis treatment. All buses are equipped with Lexon shielding between passengers and driver. Masks are required, as well as social distancing on the buses. State funding is continuing to flow, and the county received more than expected in state transportation operating assistance payments because they are based on 2019 data. The CARES Act request was submitted as well for lost fare box revenue. CCPT staff, including office personnel, are eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine, and scheduling has begun. Carl Weiss, the highway superintendent, reported the county highway crews are continuing to perform snow and ice work as necessary. The lack of snow events so far has been positive. However, crews continue to deal with wind-driven snow in Ellenburg and Altona at the typical location when there is no active snow event. When performing snow and ice work, crews are performing equipment maintenance, tree, brush removal, and inspecting roads in preparation for the paving season. The office staff continues to take calls from public, process contracts, review permit applications, and respond to complaints, and plan for the 2021 construction season. The next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, February 8th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much. We will move to the liaison reports. I know that you all just received your new assignment, some of you, so I don't think that there has been a chance for anyone to liaise very much. But we'll run down through these really quickly and see where we're at. First will be me with Board of Health, and I have no report tonight on Board of Health, although John and Eric brought us up to date on a lot of stuff. Next will be Chamber of Commerce, Legislator Bacher. You're on mute, Rick.
I spoke with Gary Douglas today, and he updated me on several things that they're working on, but, and will include me in any future meetings, but other than that, no report.
Okay, thank you. Cooperative Extension, Legislator Timmons.
Yes, we actually had our meeting last week, organizational meeting. We have a full board again this year. All officers' positions are filled. We're still seeing an increase in web page views, online stuff for them, which is great, as well as the Zoom exercise classes that they're doing online, which is great for people that want to exercise and do it with somebody else to kind of get them motivated, and elderly people that can do it at home, and that's actually doing really well, and I think you'll see that continue on even past COVID happening, so that's good things.
Great.
Our next meeting is Tuesday, February 16th.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt. Discipline review, no report. Grievance committee, no report. Inter-county legislator Walbert.
My first meeting will be tomorrow, so I'll keep you posted next time around.
And where are you headed, Ms. Waldron? Or where are you zooming from? Where are you zooming to?
Yeah, I think it's Franklin County. I have to look at my notes.
Okay, thank you. Jury board report. LG Regional Planning Board, Legislator Perrier or Hughes? Endor. I can read your lips, no report. You're on mute, Francis.
This is.
There we go. I didn't attend the meeting last week, so I don't know if Mr. Hughes did or not. No.
Okay. I don't. Nothing. Oh, he's
Where'd he
gone.
go? Oh, he's
He hit the wrong button.
There he is.
There he is. He's back. Now we got him.
I got a notification came in.
He's still a rookie.
Yeah. No, I wasn't able to. I didn't know about the meeting last week, but I'll get with Legislator Perrier. We'll make sure we're there next month.
Okay. Soil and Water, Legislator Perrier and or Timmons.
I went to the meeting last Thursday. They were glad that both Robbie and I are still on it. And we had an organizational meeting, and Sam Dyer is the president, and Robbie's treasurer, and Bruce Dimick is vice president, and other than that, it was mostly organizational.
Okay, thank you. Next, staff members have reports. Ms. Kelleher, do you have a report?
I would like to request an executive session to discuss matters of litigation and contracts.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Zerlo.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. As Senator Steck reported, and I'm sure you've been reading about, the executive proposed his state budget. I believe I sent everybody the New York State Association of Counties county impact report. If you did not get that, I could certainly forward it again. I encourage you to review that document. There is a ton of information. All in all, this budget is not terrible for county government, although there remain several issues that we are opposed to. Keep in mind, this is just the executive's proposal, and now the legislature, will be as the senator reported, going to their budget hearings and meeting amongst themselves and with the governor's staff to try to pass a budget by April 1st of next year. The big issue, of course, is federal aid. The budget, as it's currently formulated, is based on the receipt of $6 billion in federal aid over the next 2 state fiscal years. At this level of federal aid, the governor is indicating that the state would have to consider several tax increases, as well as a reduction of service and reduction in local aid at the 5% level. If the state receives $15 billion over the next 2 fiscal years, everybody's in much better shape. They would not have to take certain actions, including tax increases, and there would be no cut to local aid. And obviously there could be a number that falls in between $6 billion and $15 billion, and how that would affect us is to be determined. But as the senator reported, I do think there is a path. I will say that it also has been presented that the current state fiscal year gap, they indicate that the division of the budget has indicated that gap is closed through several different mechanisms, including enhanced Medicaid money from the federal government and the CARES Act money, but they believe that the current fiscal year gap is closed. So as you heard in Children and Family Services report, the state withhold of 20% is now down to 5%. So we should be getting an additional amount of money. We're told that they will make up that difference in the first quarter of this calendar year, prior to the execution of the state's next fiscal year. So there is a bit of positive news there. Also, on the positive news front, the county has received its 2018 shared services revenue through electronic transfer. At this point, it's 80% of what we had anticipated. It did get caught up in the 20% withhold, so we are expecting an additional 15% there. The county received $314,000 for that original 2018 shared services program. We also submitted a 2019 shared services program, smaller scale. So we're doing the work to submit a reimbursement request for 2019. As everybody knows, 2020 we did not submit a plan, and in the first quarter of 2021 we will begin engaging our municipal partners in a 2021 shared services plan. Ms. Waldron, I did call Supervisor Douglas and told him to be on the lookout. The other big ones, Legislator Castine, the Village of Rouse's Point, was due a rather large payment, as was the City of Plattsburgh for assessing services coming to the county in 2018. So positive news, and Kim did let all of our municipal partners know to check their bank accounts for an electronic transfer of funds. And lastly, I just want to let everybody know, in case you're wondering, W-2s have been mailed out to the board, so you should be receiving them in your mail in a day or two. That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you. For the chairperson's report, just a couple of things. I went and visited our vaccination site down at 234 Connecticut this morning. It's the third time I've been there. I was there before it opened. I was there basically on the day that it opened, and I was there again this morning. I accompanied Jim Cleveland from Buildings and Grounds. Jim took an hour or so, and he and I went down there to take a look at the facility to see how it was running. We met with Kelly Donahue from Office of Emergency Services, who took us around, for lack of a better word. Kelly was very helpful, very accommodating. I want to thank Jim for taking time out of his day. Jim's busy, so it was, I appreciate him taking me down there. Overall, as I say, I've been there 3 times. It's very well run. It's running smoothly. I didn't see any hiccups there. I didn't hear of any. I can tell you that I've received 10 or 12 either reports, either phone calls or emails from people that have gone through that facility. They all, to a person, have said it went great, it was smooth, there were no problems, everybody was professional, helpful, nice. It went well from the time they pulled their car up and was in line all the way through to the end. So it's been a smooth process. Right now, they're doing about 500 a day. They've been doing that since the first day, just about. Well, maybe not the first day, but the second day. They've been doing about 500 a day. On February 8th, I believe it is, they are going to ramp up to 1,000 a day at that site. Now, that includes, the reason February 8th is that's when they will start doing second vaccinations. So they will do about 500 a day first-timer, and then the second 500 will be for folks that now need their second shot. It's been 21 days. So pretty much, I guess, every day after February 8th, they will be doing about 1,000 a day at the site. 500 first-timers and 500 second-timers. So things are going very well down there, I would say, and we appreciate what the state's doing down there, all the organizations they have. You heard, I think it was Eric, saying that the counties down there, I saw the folks, I talked to them. As I said, I spent maybe an hour with Kelly. So things are going well down there. And the second thing I would like to mention is that on February 3rd at 8 a.m., I have been invited to speak at North Country Chamber of Commerce's annual State of the County, Town, and City. So there will be myself and Mayor Rosenquist and Town Supervisor Cashman will be speaking at that. It's virtual. It'll be different because it's always been in person, but this time it'll be virtual. So we're looking forward to that. That's all I have unless you have some questions for me. Okay, we'll move on to the resolutions. Before voting on the resolutions, I want to note that a majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action tonight based in large part on the recommendation of those committees. Mr. Zerlo, would you please read the titles of the resolutions to be acted upon?
Certainly. Resolution number 44, rejecting bids received for tax bill printing services and authorizing the purchasing agent to resolicit bids. Treasurer's Office.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 45, approving the selection of airport consultant engineer, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 46 has been withdrawn this evening. Resolution number 47, authorizing payment of membership dues, District Attorney's Office, Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Resolution number 48, authorizing payment of membership dues, probation.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Waldron.
Yes.
Resolution number 49, authorizing New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services Law Enforcement Anti-Crime Program Grant Extension, probation.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Waldron.
Yes.
Resolution number 50, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Resolution number 51, amending resolution number 613, dated October 14, 2020, titled, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Hall. Discussion.
Simply a name change, Chair.
Very well.
Simply a name
Oh, yes,
change.
thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Okay. Resolution number 52, authorizing payment of membership dues, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion.
I'd like to point out every year that this is not providing our Sheriff's Department access for a recreational club. We actually lease their shooting range for rifle, mandated rifle training.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Waldron.
Yes.
Okay.
Resolution number 53, authorizing payment of membership dues, Stop DWI.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Resolution number 54, approving appointments to the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board, Legislature.
Mr. Hall and Mr. Perrier, 5-3 on that?
Yes.
4-4.
Yes.
Oh, we got 4-4 tonight, I'm sorry, 4-4.
Yes.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Resolution number 55, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Clinton County Employment and Training Administration. Employment and Training.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Waldron.
Yes.
Resolution number 56, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation from the Highway County Road Reserve and corresponding revenue for the Union Falls Bridge Project Highway.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion.
May I second that as well?
Yes, ma'am, you certainly can. We'll see that that's done. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Great. I'd like to have a motion to waive Rule 13.2.
Move.
Motion?
Move.
No.
Was that Helen? Motion, Legislator Castine, second by Legislator Boddicker, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 57, authorizing contract with the University of Vermont Health Network Champlain Valley Physicians Hospital, coroner.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Boddicker. Discussion.
I just want to briefly, in case anybody's questioning this, we previously had a contract with CDPH for a lease of their space in certain laboratory tests. And we also had individual contracts with pathologists to do the autopsy services. We did that last year. This year, we're passing one contract. Those medical pathologists are now employees of the hospital. And as such, you will see on this resolution not only the autopsy-related services cost, but in addition to that, the cost associated with the doing the autopsies themselves that we previously paid to the individual physicians. So this resolution looks a lot bigger, but the amount of money we're spending is the same as we did the previous year.
Okay, we have a motion. We had a motion by Legislator Castine, second by Legislator Boddicker. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried. If there's no further business to come before the legislature, I'd like to entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss a matter of pending legislation with building contractor.
Litigation.
What did I say?
Legislation.
I'm sorry, litigation. Thank you again, sir. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Legislator Hughes, seconded by Legislator Timmons. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Give us a minute and we'll get into
Resolution under Waive Rule 13.2, resolution number 58, authorizing retainer agreement with the Rafus Law Firm, Legislature. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. David's got to get us back live.
Take two.
Take two. Okay, folks, we are now back in live session. We have an additional resolution under Waive Rule 13.2, resolution number 58, authorizing retainer agreement with the Rafus Law Firm, Legislature.
May I have a motion?
Motion?
A motion by Legislator Waldron, second by Legislator Boddicker. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anything else? I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Just a minute, Mark.
I have a motion by Legislator Perry, a second by Legislator.
No.
Oh.
I'd like a second to thank everybody for yesterday. I called them all on a couple of issues. Some of them 2-3 times. They were all very professional, very friendly, and very easy to talk to. Even though I didn't get it done, it was a pleasure working with everybody. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
I have a motion by Legislator Perry, a second by Legislator Hughes. We are adjourned.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Aye.
Night.